let me guess. You've clicked on this video because you are trying to figure out how to sell a product or a service on Instagram. I don't want to act like that was a really intelligent guess, because let's face it, if you clicked on this video, that's obviously what you're looking to do, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that you're in the right place. I'm going to be sharing the top Instagram marketing hacks for 2023. So if that sounds of interest to you, then carry on watching. But before we get into it, this video is very excitingly sponsored by Maple, more on them later. But also I wanted to let you know that I upload new content every single week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to see more content like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right in and start with the very first hack. This hack is to never lead with your product or service. And that probably sounds really confusing to you, and I get why, but let me explain it, okay? So what this hack is referring to is the common mistake that a lot of business owners make when it comes to Instagram, and that is that they open up their content by talking about their product or their service. So for example, you share a reel, and within the first few seconds of the reel, you're talking about the new features in your new program or your new products. Or you create a carousel, and the first slide of the carousel is like a photo of your candle, right? Whilst I know that feels natural to do that, because at the end of the day, you've created content for the purpose of selling your product or service. So it only feels natural that you lead with your product or your service. Now, the reason why this doesn't work is because the majority of your audience do not want to be sold to. And the second they feel like they're about to be sold to, they'll switch off, they'll carry on scrolling, and they'll go about their business. We have to remember the state of mind that our audience are in when they're on Instagram, right? When they're on Instagram and they're scrolling along on their explore page, wherever they are, they're not scrolling thinking, God, I really hope someone sells me something soon. No, they're scrolling because they're looking for dopamine hits. They're looking for someone to inspire them, to educate them, to entertain them. That's what they're looking for. And when they get that, that's when they stop scrolling, and that's when they engage with the content. So what do we want to do? Rather than leading with our product or our service, because that is going to fall flat and that will not result in us getting a lot of engagement, instead, we want to lead with something that we know our audience will find valuable in some way. Hopefully, you have a really good understanding of who your audience are. So I'm hoping that you know who they are, what motivates them, what their pain points are, what their values are. And if you know that information, then use that to create content that relates to your audience. So create content that will solve one of their pain points. Create content speaking about one of the values that they have. Lead with that, and towards the end of the content, you can talk about the product or the service that you have. And that way you just position it as, you know, if you want to learn more, if you want to solve this pain point, then I've got a great product or service for you. That way, you're giving your audience a chance to actually engage with your content, get value from your content before you go ahead and you ask them to buy something from you. You got to give value first in order to get value in return. That is something that I call the value exchange, and it's one of the core principles that I teach to all of my clients. Okay, so hack number 2, hire an expert. This is like the ultimate hack, let's be real. If we're really talking about how we're gonna use Instagram better to grow our business, the biggest hack is to get someone who already knows how to do that. Now, as I mentioned, this video is sponsored by Maple. Now, Maple are the absolute goats when it comes to partnering freelancers with business owners like yourself. Not only can they partner you with a social media expert who can run your Instagram page for you and really create an amazing social media strategy to help you actually grow your business, they also offer so many other features which ensure that the freelancer who they pair you with is actually one that is vetted, that's an expert, and who's going to deliver and actually produce work that's going to help your business. Now, Maple spent over 10,000 hours vetting these marketing experts to ensure that they are the absolute creme de la creme. That whole process resulted in them having over 1,000 vetted marketing freelancers and experts within their community. And not only can you hire a vetted marketing freelancer through Maple, which will help you with your social media strategy, in addition to loads of other marketing roles such as email, SEO, and loads more, but you can also book a consultation hour with a marketing expert of your choice. This will allow you to do several things, such as audit your email strategy, your SEO strategy, your ad accounts, and everything else in between. Best part is you guys can now get $500 off. That's off the price if you use my link in my description. So be sure to head to that link if you are serious about leveling up your marketing in 2023. Okay, next hack, stories which sell. So there's 2 parts to this hack. The first one is like the really obvious one, and the second one is the less obvious. So the first obvious hack is more about using the good old link sticker on your stories, which, if you did not know, is now available to everyone. Back in the day, you used to have a certain amount of followers in order to actually add links to your stories, but now everyone can add links to their stories, and everyone should be adding links to their stories. This is one of the most effective and seamless ways to get people off of your Instagram and on to your website. Now, a common mistake that people make is they rely on their link in their bio. They put their website link in their bio and they're like, great, all I have to do now is ask people to go to my link in bio, and that is how they're going to go on our website. Now, whilst that does still work to an extent, you have to realize that people are lazy. And if they're scrolling on Instagram and they see head to my link in bio, they then need to click on your account and then go to your link in bio. I know that's only 2 steps, guys, but for many, that's 2 steps too much, okay? They want it to be seamless and as easy as possible. So when you add links to your stories, you make this process seamless because all they have to do is click once in order to open up the relevant page. Always make sure that if you're using the link sticker in your stories, you are being specific with what you're asking people to do on your website and also with the page that you're linking to. Please do not make generic stories what say things like, why don't you just check out my stuff on my website? That's not a strong call to action. That won't get people to click. And if people click through to your website and are just on your homepage and have no idea where they want to go next, they normally bounce, which basically means that they head straight off your website straight away, okay? We don't want that. Get specific. If you want to promote something on your store, then talk about a specific product in your stories and link to that product. That way, the call to action is very clear, and also the experience that someone has when they click on your webpage is super clear and super easy to navigate to. The less obvious hack here when it comes to your stories is to actually encourage people to send you DMs if they have questions about anything that you sell. Now, DMs is one of the best places for you to actually make a sale. And a lot of people ignore them because they can't be bothered or because they think they're slimy, which some of them are. Now, keep in mind, I'm not telling you to just start DMing people on a fly and just hope people buy from you. That is slimy. What I am saying is to encourage people to DM you. Make it clear that your direct messages are open, and if someone wants to talk about something with you, they can. All they have to do is head to your DMs, right? When you do this, people are a lot more vocal about any questions they have. You make it so much easier to actually explain the product or the service that you sell, and more often than not, that usually leads to a far higher conversion, which basically means that a greater percentage of people who interact with you over DMs are more likely to actually buy from you as a result of that interaction. Third hack, use Instagram's features. Now, I was going to focus on shopping for this hack, but I realized that not everyone sells products. So I'm just going to talk about a few different features that you should look into if you haven't already. Instagram shopping is one of Instagram's key focuses. So I expect it to continuously get glow ups throughout the whole of 2023. So if you don't use it yet, now's the time. As I alluded to earlier, Instagram shopping is best suited for brands that sell products or services. It allows you to integrate your product catalog with Instagram and to sell your products directly on Instagram. This means that if someone saw a post from you and they want to buy something on that post, all they have to do is click on your product tag and they'll be able to purchase that item from you using Instagram shopping. So as I said, if you sell a product, then that is what you want to be doing. For sure, you need to be using Instagram shopping. You can also use it if you sell a service as well. However, for those of you who do sell services, you might want to look into some of Instagram's other features. For example, the contact buttons. You're able to facilitate people to easily email you by adding an email button. You can even add a booking button where people can book appointments with you straight away, which is great for people who sell services. So have a look at those key features because those are the ones that are massively going to help you when it comes to your Instagram marketing efforts this year. Okay, so those are my favorite Instagram marketing hacks for 2023. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about how Instagram's going to change this year, and it's a super important video for you to watch since you're obviously an avid Instagram user. In addition to that, if you feel like just having a bit of a shortcut and hiring a vetted freelancer who can massively take on this huge project for you and run with it and get you some amazing results, then I really recommend checking out Maple. Remember, you can get $500 off if you use my link in my description. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I'll see you in my next video.